Our journey today starts at Bergen, the old capital of Norway, the heart of the fjords and the second largest city in Norway. Bergen is surrounded by mountains, causing Bergen to be called the City of Seven Mountains. Given Norway is the second most expensive country in the world, our plan is to do an affordable and budget-friendly visit to the Geirangerfjord. Bergen is a beautiful city with lots to explore. If you have time, there is a funicular which goes up the mountain, offering incredible views of the city. The most important attraction is UNESCO World Cultural Heritage of Bergen, the old wharf of Bergen, where these tall and slim wooden townhouses stand side by side along the quayside, seemingly leaning on each other. And here are some famous Norwegian crabs. We will need to walk across from Bergen to the ferry terminal, from where we will get on the Hurtigruten ship to Alesund. Hurtigruten, which translates to express route, is a Norwegian public coastal route transporting local passengers and also cargo from Bergen all the way to the northern tip of Norway. Along with its competitor Havila, they are the only two operators allowed to service the entire Norwegian coastal route. Hurtigruten was established in 1893 by government contract when ship Vesteralen began the first round-trip journey from Trondheim to Hammerfest. At that time, this was the fastest route between northern and southern Norway, and this resulted in the route being named Hurtigruten, that is, express route. Interesting fact is that we are traveling on a vessel named Vesteralen, but this one is constructed in 1983. The journey starts from Bergen at 8:30 p.m. and we will be spending the night on the ship, reaching Alesund at 9:45 in the morning tomorrow. But as we need to visit Geirangerfjord, we have booked the ticket for the 7 p.m. disembarkation at Alesund, which for some reason has the same ticket price of €106. The competitor Havila, on the other hand, has €167 for the later disembarkation. Let me remind you that you won't get cabins for these prices and would need to spend your night on the lounge or the deck. Cabin prices would start around €250. We can have food from the restaurant or this cafeteria. The prices would be on the higher side given we are in Norway. This being August, it is not that cold on the deck, but I recommend you to have your waterproof and windproof jackets just in case. We had 2 more couples sleeping in this lecture hall with us, and most of the others were in the lounge area. It is morning and we are about to cross open sea to reach Alesund, then enter the fjords. There is Havila on its southbound voyage. They have more modern ships and are more environment friendly. Time for some expensive breakfast and then we'll go outside to explore the fjord. But what is a fjord? According to National Geographic, a fjord is a long, deep, narrow body of water that reaches far inland. Fjords are often set in a U-shaped valley with steep walls of rock on either side. These fjords were created by glaciers in a slow process called glaciation. Glaciers move very slowly over time and can greatly alter the landscape once they have moved through an area, creating spectacular cliffs and narrow inlets. From Alesund, we leave the sea to enter Storfjorden, then on to its branch Sandlisfjorden to eventually reach the Geirangerfjord branch. The valleys have these little towns and villages nestled between the mountains. They look really beautiful and do have connectivity via roads on the mainland. Check this out, this is how Norwegians farm their famous Norwegian salmon. The weather in Norway is very unpredictable and can spoil even the most well-prepared plans. One good thing about the rains was that we were able to see numerous waterfalls rolling down the entire length of the mountains. They just seem to sprout magically at the top of the mountain. The two most famous waterfalls in the Geirangerfjord are Seven Sisters Falls and the Suter. Both falls face one another across the fjord, and the story goes that the suitor tried to woo each of the sisters, but sadly with no success. Geirangerfjord ends in the small village of Geiranger, where the Geirangerfjord river empties into it. Surrounded by majestic mountain peaks, 800-meter high cliffs, and cascading waterfalls, the UNESCO-listed fjord is an impressive 15 kilometers long and 260 meters deep. Hurtigruten will not be docking at Geiranger village, but we can exit here on a boat to then have a bus trip via the Eagle Road, where you can catch a magnificent view over the fjord. On the other hand, a shore excursion from Hurtigruten would cost you a hefty €300 though. On our way back, the rain had stopped and we could watch the famous waterfalls in all its glory. We exited at Alesund, bought some food and hopped on another ferry to the island of Widroe. It was late and there were not many passengers on this 10-minute ferry. Once we reached the island, the weather suddenly turned stormy, but we got on our bus to the island of Widroe. Alesund Airport is on Widroe Island, where we stayed at an affordable smart room next to the airport for a measly €69 for Norwegian standards. Our flight with Widroe to Bergen costed around €80 but was delayed due to the stormy weather. But thankfully our connecting flight with Finnair was also delayed, so we didn't end up missing it. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to check out our upcoming video on the famous Norway in a nutshell trip, where we explore the Flam Railway, Sognefjord and Narøyfjord.